Reproduction is the single most important biological function for any species, and the diversity of strategies that have evolved to accomplish it exceeds anything found in human social systems. Several of these mechanisms are viscerally counterintuitive, not metaphorically, but literally. The anatomy, the sequence of events, and the costs involved defy the reproductive norms that most biology education presents as universal. Flatworms, Pseudobiceros bedfordi and related polyclad species, reproduce through penis fencing. Both individuals in an encounter are hermaphrodites, and each carries two penises. A mating encounter involves up to 60 minutes of mutual combat in which each individual attempts to pierce the other's skin with its penis and inject sperm before being inseminated itself. The loser, the individual that is successfully inseminated, must then carry, nourish, and deposit the eggs. Because egg production is energetically costly and sperm production is not, each individual attempts to be the one to inseminate rather than be inseminated. Mating injuries are common. Insemination can occur through any point on the skin surface, not only through a dedicated reproductive opening, because the flatworm's body wall is thin enough to be penetrated. The contest determines the reproductive role, and the loser bears the full reproductive cost. Aphids, Acyrthosiphon pisum and many related species, are born pregnant. A female aphid in spring contains not only embryos but embryos that already have embryos developing within them, a configuration called telescoping generations. A single female can give birth to live young within 24 hours of her own birth. Under ideal conditions, the theoretical output of a single female and her descendants over a single summer, accounting for no mortality and continuous reproduction, is approximately 600 billion individuals, roughly 75 per human being alive. This does not occur in practice but demonstrates the exponential reproductive capacity when parthenogenesis, reproduction without males, is active. In autumn, aphids produce males and begin sexual reproduction, generating fertilized eggs that survive winter. The switch from asexual to sexual reproduction is triggered by day length, not temperature or food availability. Argonaut octopuses, Argonauta sp., have the most unusual mating mechanism of any cephalopod. Males are dramatically smaller than females, approximately 2 cm versus 10 cm for the female. During mating, the male's specialized reproductive arm, the hectocotylus, detaches from its body and swims autonomously to the female, carrying a packet of sperm. The male survives the detachment but does not grow a replacement arm. The detached arm can survive for an extended period after separation, propelling itself and inseminating the female without the male's body being present. Early naturalists who examined females found the detached arms and believed they were parasitic worms. They were formally named and described as a separate species before the connection to Argonaut mating was established in the 19th century. Spotted hyenas, Crocuta crocuta, are the only mammal species in which females do not have a vaginal opening. They give birth, urinate, and have sex through the clitoris, which is elongated into a pseudopenis nearly indistinguishable from the male's penis. The pseudopenis is 17 to 18 centimeters long and can become erect. The birth canal runs through it. Cubs must travel down a 2.5 centimeter wide passage that is 18 centimeters long. First-time mothers have a 60% mortality rate for the first cub, which typically suffocates in the canal during a prolonged labor. The pseudopenis tears during first birth and the passage widens, allowing subsequent births to proceed more quickly. The mechanism appears to have evolved to give females complete control over mating. The pseudopenis must be retracted and inverted for penetration, which is physically impossible for a male to accomplish without the female's cooperation, making forced mating physically impossible in this species. Seahorses, Hippocampus sp., are among the few species where males carry and give birth to live young. The female deposits eggs into a pouch on the male's abdomen. The male fertilizes them internally, provides oxygen and nutrients through a network of capillaries lining the pouch wall, and regulates osmotic balance as the embryos develop. Brood sizes range from 5 to 2,500 depending on species. Labor can last 12 hours and involves muscular contractions. The male goes into labor in the conventional sense. Within hours of giving birth, the male can be pregnant again. The evolutionary driver appears to be that male pregnancy allows females to produce and deposit a new clutch of eggs immediately after the male becomes pregnant, increasing the total reproductive output of the pair compared to female pregnancy, where the female cannot breed during gestation. The strawberry poison dart frog, Oophaga pumilio, raises each tadpole individually. After eggs hatch, the female transports each tadpole separately on her back to an individual water-filled bromeliad leaf pool. She then returns to each pool on a regular schedule and deposits an unfertilized egg into the water for the tadpole to eat, providing a dedicated, personalized food delivery service for up to 6 tadpoles simultaneously, each in a separate location. The female must memorize the location of each tadpole's pool, assess the tadpole's nutritional state through visual inspection, and decide whether to deposit a feeding egg. Tadpoles that do not receive adequate feeding die. The system is metabolically expensive and cognitively demanding. It has evolved because the leaf pools are too small to support multiple tadpoles. Isolation prevents cannibalism and competition that would otherwise kill most offspring. The cuckoo, Huculus canorus, exploits the parental investment systems of other species. Females lay 1 egg per nest in host nest chosen to match the cuckoo's own egg color and pattern, a match accurate enough that 98% of host birds do not reject cuckoo eggs. The cuckoo egg hatches first. The cuckoo chick, immediately after hatching and while still blind, ejects every other egg and chick from the nest by balancing them on its back and pushing them over the rim. The host parents then raise the cuckoo chick exclusively. The cuckoo chick's begging call mimics not one but an entire brood of host chicks, generating a sound louder and more insistent than an entire clutch of the host species would produce, which triggers the host's maximum feeding behavior. Cuckoo chick growth rate is calibrated to consume as much parental resource as possible before fledging. Surinam toads, Pipa pipa, raise their young embedded in the mother's back. After mating, the male presses fertilized eggs into the skin of the female's back during an underwater somersaulting display. The skin grows over the eggs, encasing each in an individual pocket. The embryos develop inside the mother's skin, not internally in a body cavity, but literally inside the dermis, for approximately 80 days. At the end of development, fully formed toadlets erupt through the surface of the mother's back skin and swim away. The mother's back skin then regenerates. Each pocket is visible through the skin as the toadlet develops. There is no placental connection. The toadlets receive oxygen through the skin membrane but are nourished by the yolk of the original egg, not by the mother's circulatory system. These are not anomalies at the edge of biology. They are stable, successful strategies that have been running for millions of years. In each case, the problem being solved is the same: get as many viable offspring as possible into the next generation. Tomorrow's animal is the one nobody talks about, but probably should. This channel posts a new animal fact video every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.